Yeah. Ready for the rock and roll, you know we go. Post-storm, look at the snow mountain. We're going east, coming from the west. And here in Montreal, Hawk Island, yours truly. Independent, aspie, artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical, honest, and tears gonna put some gloves on. And we're gonna rock and roll. As we go, freestyle over time, every time. Independent aspie, got out Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autistic, philosopher, artist, athlete, independent, geopolitical, theoretical, honest, and theorist, and mystic. Auctioning everything that I'm wearing for $1 million to give 50% half to my anonymous friend. Snow, mountains of snow. Everywhere that you go around Montreal, and I haven't left the island metropolis of 2.5 million people in many years, and I believe at least 7 years now. Because at least since COVID, and I'm marking, of course, celebrating 5 years between February 7th and March 24th. I was struck by COVID, and I'm marking celebrating 5 years since I had COVID, and I was really sick, ill, and I survived it, and I got triple vaccinated. Look at that. And not a big snow, and this is of course Wednesday. It is the 19th of February 2025, and we're gonna zigzag a little snake around the neighborhood here from Citoyen, NDG, and NDG, CDN. Yours truly celebrating, marking 5 years since I survived COVID. 2020 February 7th, between the February 7th and about March 24th. Somewhere estimated between that time, between early February till about mid to late March, I had COVID, and was intense for a week was really intense, and a week was getting sick, and then a week intense, and a week started healing. So we lost a long time. Look at that. That's a pile of mountain of snow here post snowstorm. We got a double. One came last week, and one just 2 days ago, so now the recovery from the post storm is going to be ongoing. And last time I checked at the radio, they said that they had 17% of the snow removal operations from Montreal, which is going to last from today, Wednesday, until probably Monday, because it's a lot of work. So I'm dedicating this March, rock and roll special March meditation, geopolitical meditation March, to those who are going to clear lots of the snow with brains and muscle, those machines. So there's a lot of work to do, as you can assess. So can only send them some LOV. Financially stressed, but grateful, thankful. My rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and I got $5. I went to get another special coffee, instant coffee. Usually I don't buy instant, usually do not purchase the instant one, but this one was half price. And of course nowadays coffee prices are increasing, so I took the opportunity, and I saw the same coffee that I purchased for $3.88. For $3.88 I bought it. The same format, the same company. Of course, it was $8.99 at a different store. So I always double check, especially if you're financially stressed, struggling like myself, although open for business. Look at that. That's another mountain, and that's a big mountain there. Huge mountains, huge snow, a lot of snow everywhere. So gonna be marching, gonna be assessing a little bit of the snow, and meditating, of course, about a little bit of statistics, mathematics, and all the work on labor, which already has been done. Good job so far in certain places. Like here has been cleared a bit, and there's a lot to do, and we broke records, since 1941. There hasn't been so much snow as we have it here in this 2 days, though. 2 storm days, storm of the century accumulated. It's a Dragon versus Storm special edition. I don't know if I should rush for the seconds, but let's go around the block. I guess we can just keep on marching and going there and going on the other side and traversing at the corner here. Somebody see with that snow plow, snow machines, operations ongoing, and gotta commence, of course, as always, with gratitude, grateful, thankful. My rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food, and purchased another coffee. I said because today's the last day on the special, so I don't know if it's gonna be on special like this today. So I took the opportunity. I calculated my budget, which of course today being February 19th. I check how much budget I have, so because I need to get a little bit of that good food for the Sabbath. And I just turned off the slow cooker. I've been cooking some Canadian black beans made in Canada, produced in Canada. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, those in the daycares to change some diapers, always thinking about the public workers, and of course the truckers, the bakers, the electricians, the plumbers, and please go slow on the road. I see those cars are going slow like they're supposed to, and yeah, we got more mountains, addition of mountains of snow. As you can see here, you're gonna see in this video, it really was a powerful storms, double storm though, 2 different days and like 3 days apart, so they accumulated in that short amount of time, you know, the double storm. And we broke the record last set from 1941, which was kind of Second World War, you know, myself being a geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist who specializes into the 20th century geopolitics and 20th and 21st century, you know, that's my main specialty. And of course, being an Asperger's, Asperger's also known as fait, that is my special interest, also known as obsessive interest, although I use the appellation terminology special interest because utilizing obsessive is something which of course has a more negative connotation, while Aspies like myself have to be encouraging those special interests, because people with Asperger's can make contributions which are great improvements or contributions in specifically those areas of special interest where we can be super focused, super intense. And today I spent like 6 hours intense just analyzing geopolitics and of course all the turn of events which have transpired, the new comments in the Russia-United States meeting with Donald Trump and Putin, and vis-a-vis the conflict in Ukraine, and myself as a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist, of course, who has the dream, my dream, the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, pledge your allegiance, to our family, friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, to our family, friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, to our family, pledge your allegiance, to our family, you know, that is what it is with that. So it's something which we gotta get it on to do. So it's something which we gotta get. The dream is fundamentally a public-private partnership across the North American collective civilizational complex, and that's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get on the grateful side, you know. So being that today, you know, although financially stressed, struggling, my rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, and got food and coffee, and you see how I gotta get it on the go there. Truck has got that 4-wheel, is gonna get a little bit of that struggle, but with a more powerful engine, I guess it's easier for the propellant to push forward, and counting the velocity, a little bit of that mathematics, and you know, not being a super expert, you know, I'm just a nobody, financially stressed, don't mind me, YouTuber wannabe, androgynous pansexual, get that 50-50, but nonetheless, survived COVID, credit my surviving to the goddess, forgotten goddess of which I will to build the forgotten goddess temple on the Canadian-US border, a mass mega structure, and I'm laying the foundations for the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, which is fundamentally a call for the North American Union as a democratic republican, laying the foundations for the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom with trillions of kisses I got, created from the goddess as I survived, thanks to the GODDSS, forgotten, but still dances with a brother the sun, being my piece of dust, you know, that yours truly is, and getting on the circulation now, meditating for the truckers on the bridges across, you know, Montreal, Hawk Island, on the bridges across Montreal, Hawk Island, you know, how they surround the Montreal, Hawk Island, and how they go, you know, and all the truckers with all the goods, the services, everything that's transpiring now across the North American collective civilizational complex across North America. And gotta give some LOV to the cooks, grocery store clerks, LOV to the warehouse workers, dock workers, airports workers, even gotta be some salutations for the boys and girls in blue. Ain't nobody perfect, that includes that me and you, for that security forces. Got some rock and roll, you know, we gotta reconcile. There's nobody perfect, you know, gotta get reconciliations and gotta work together, you know. It's time to get rid of the border, and focus coast to coast, ocean to ocean, focus coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and focus on the ports and the airports, because that's the points of entry for fentanyl, and for exportation of more of the, whatever the case may be, and in terms of the collective security of the North American civilizational complex, as North Americans, Quebec or Canadian North American. who was a mystic, you know. I know that I was born in the United States 3 times. Once as a woman, twice as a man, and served in the same US Army. 2 different wars. 2 different wars, 2 different wars. 2 different wars. Same army, 2 different wars. Same army. 2 different wars. 156 years apart, the wars were 156 years apart, and gotta take it on the go here like this. We're gonna have to go a little bit like snakes. I don't mind snakes, you know. Some snakes are good, you know. Don't, just like some aspies have more difficulties in certain areas, just like I'm an individual, part of a collective. It's always the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, which is my dream for a public-private partnership. Pledge your allegiance to our family, marking, celebrating 5 years in 2020. Had COVID between early February and about mid to late March, you know, past the 20th of March. I started feeling better, you know, after like being sick, and said I don't want to go back to nothing. I died right there in my room off St. Temple during COVID, and yeah, I've been on the fitness journey. And you know, before COVID, I had actually predicted the international conflagration, which is occurring now. I predicted a World War III. So since November 2019, I am myself kind of in a World War III type of mode scenario, because I predicted an international conflagration, being that I am an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. And just today, you know, I spent like almost 6 hours just being immersed in geopolitical theorizing, in geopolitics. The study, the analysis of geopolitics, you know, is my interest, aka obsessive interest, but prefer the terminology special interest. And I just realized that today I spent hours and hours just analyzing different news outlets from the left, from the right, and from the center. And my universal revolutionary centrism is tied hand in hand with my trinity of theories as a democratic republic for the North American Union. Fundamentally my dream. Pledge your allegiance, thou art family, friends with benefits only. It's fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the North American collective civilizational complex across North America to create the 2 complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the North American Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, North American Integrated Dance League, Dancing Goddess Army, that DGA, with the Dragon Army, the North American Integrated Security Service and Defense Force, only solely for security service and defense, only solely for security service and defense, solely to be coast to coast, ocean to ocean. North American Integrated, centric based on my philosophies and theories, the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, to be strictly and merely for security service and defense. And gotta give some salutations, some LOV to the cooks, those delivery workers now across North America, bringing home this Wednesday, 19th of February, you know, some cheeseburgers, some fries, some pizzas. Gotta LOV, gotta love the cooks, you know. It's not all about the Wall Street buy, sell, future option splits, you know. We're doing a little bit of that labor and love, and yes, I understand there has to be some merit. There has to be some merit, and there has to be second chances, third chances, and it's always some things in the center, kind of compromise, you know. Just like myself, I always gotta build bridges. Myself being a neurodivergent, part of a neurodivergent community, a tiny minority, it's always an effort for me to build bridges with my fellow neurotypicals who, you know, who get it on the do, who get it on the go, and gotta get it on the go now. So that's how we gotta get on the do, you know. So that's why we gotta do it on the XYZ, and we gotta get it on that LOVE. So somebody laughing, happy there, that's important. A little bit of joy, you know. And you know, sometimes we gotta get serious business, and sometimes we gotta use some humor, comedy, you know. And I have suffered, struggled, been lonely, been depressed, and now, you know, I'm just joyous, but financially stressed. And I always feel good when I go on my marches, meditative march workouts, marching dances, busting a little dance move. Dancing is my favorite sport, and dancing is my favorite not only sport, but dancing is my favorite fitness activity. I love dancing. You get that priestess or the goddess, Hana, keep my name out of your mouth, Adrian Hana Dragon, if it's not for a blessing. Hope you got an understanding, otherwise there'll be pestilence. Bury me with Papa Crowley, 93 up in New Jersey, 1/3 on Mount Royal, Hampton, 1/3 in the city of the pyramids, and LOV, Mount Royal, Montreal, 2.5 million people metropolis city. That's my, here's kind of where my old neighborhood commences right here at the interjection. I can go a little, let's go a little bit in, and then gonna go a little bit on the side like that. So now I entering my old neighborhood. I used to live over there somewhere a few years ago. I'm not sure exactly when I moved. It's like a retrograde amnesia, you know. I got blackouts of memories. I got like blackouts of memories, you know. I just remember moving, being depressed, being suicidal, remember moving, being depressed, being suicidal, remember moving, being depressed, being suicidal, moved from a very moldy place, underground, like a underground, underground basement. So I started feeling better. Cross Canada, coast to coast in 2017 in August. 2017 went, of course, to BC, British Columbia, Vancouver. Then in September 2017 went to Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and that's when I started. After that revelation, I had a revelation. I said so many things to see, to do across this Canada. I established a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians. I established a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians. Our family, Quebecers, Canadians are my family, and all who come to join us, and my brothers and sisters in the USA as well, you know. And my fellow citizen who decided to jog on a day like this, gotta salute, send some LOV, congratulations. You're among the few. Your potential Dragon Army, if you can do my general war integrated whole body training system, calling all for a public private partnership. Go, look at that big truck. Thank you, LOV. Getting a little bit of rock and roll for those who clear up the snow. And for the garbage collectors, thank you. I got 3 services across North America, please. NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please donate. Give the public workers of the North American Collectif some of those tickets. Reduce the tickets cost by 44.9%. Reduce the ticket costs by 44.9%. Reduce the ticket costs by 44.9% for 44.9%. And that's what we got to get doing, you know. 44.9%. Also, the prices increases. Credit card debt has reached record levels. And there's another one with full of snow. Hey, yeah. Look at that biggie, look at another one. Hey, yeah, hard work, LOV. March for you for my anonymous friend. Wasn't my friend because of the money. Wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. Wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. And here, there was some store here. I remember coming a few years ago, but, you know, I just remember moving about 7, 8, 9, even maybe 10 years ago. I have blackouts of memories. I can remember moving and being depressed, suicidal. I moved from a very moldy underground place, and here there was a big store, but now it's all run down. I guess all these got destroyed now. Maybe they're building something else. Built some Dragon Army headquarters, Dragon Army gym, public private partnership for security and service. Drop down, give Dragon some push-ups. General clit, dick clit, 50-50, rainbow. Dragon got played that rainbow, black and white and rainbow. Androgynous, pansexual, raspy artist, athlete, philosopher. Already marched today more than the generals of NATO combined. And this week is the 3rd one, of course. Every day, Monday to Friday. Hours and hours and clock in. And of course my videos, because sometimes it's cold, so the battery goes on the 0. So you can't see the 2+, 3 hour plus, because sometimes, of course, what I'm working with, I'm grateful for the tool, because it's a bit better. I got it last year, about 5 months ago. Look, another one. So it's a lot of work here with the snow, so I'm grateful for this working tool, because now I'm work, and always meditating. Truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, bridge builders, who build the bridges. We got about more than 25 surrounding HAWK, Hawk Island, also known as Montreal. My home in this life and in a parallel life. And I used to live somewhere over there in Côte des Neiges. And I moved. I always say if I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have been, if I would have stayed, of course, gotta get it on the, if I would have stayed there, I would have probably been dead or in jail, you know. So If I would have stayed over there, I would have probably been dead or in jail on the streets, you know. So that's how we gotta get doing with that. And sometimes we just gotta be on that gratitude side, you know, being grateful for that. And we gotta be meditating on the things that we got here, because civilization is a privilege, you know. So that's what we got for that, and that's what we gotta get doing. We gotta salute the ambulance drivers, the butchers, the bakers, the truckers, the firefighters, all those involved in the production, distribution of food, all those, of course, across the North American Collective. We gotta salute them, and we gotta be on the circumcision, and here we gotta get it on the road, you know. So much work is to be done, and so much work we gotta get doing with that, and so much work we gotta be doing with XYZ, and that's what we gotta get doing on X, you know, on the XYZ side. And here we gotta traverse left, right, and center, and I always gotta be prudent, though. See, they are going, of course, north. They are going north, and that's how we gotta get doing with that. And hey, salutation, there's another big truck. Highways, bridges. Imagine all the work to build just the bridges across North America, across Montreal, to build all the bridges across Montreal. How much work and labor it has been done, you know. Imagine just that, eh? Civilization is a privilege, you know. You got Hydro-Quebec workers. We need to build more dams. Hydro-Quebec workers of the past, present, and future. LOV today, 19th of February. Gotta get it on that rock and roll. Hey, LOV to that big truck. Look at that, full of snow. Work, public workers, and salutations to the bakers, the butchers, the truckers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks. There's another one. How much? I think that's the one that we got in the camera. I think that's maybe the 7th already. Big snow. Where are you heading? Where you go? How about those logistics? Always meditating. And another one. There we go. You Montreal, North America. That's that rock and roll. LOV, sending them some love on the radio waves. You are polluting, too toxic. I dealt with my own toxicity. I've been depressed, been suicidal. Still financially stressed. Please, Wall Street, millionaires, billionaires, finance the public workers, the nurses, the public doctors. Those, of course, picking up the garbage, the recycling, and the compost. I got 3 services in my neighborhood, and here I gotta say, look, some parts are already dry. That's unbelievable. This is a great work job here, you know. This has been cleared really properly, so I can do marching meditation even safer on my side. I'm not gonna go all the way to my old neighborhood, because there's nothing that I want to go back, although there's a nice stores with good prices. They still got some stores in my old neighborhood where I still go shop, but sometimes for all sorts of produce, which I can't find in my, but really it's my own neighborhood, but it's like really different neighborhoods in Montreal. It's really an island, but I mean where I used to live, you know, nothing that I want to go back to. And since I survived COVID in 2020, February, March, I live carpe diem it every day. In the past 44 months, I've accepted, because I've been diagnosed for years and years, several times by several people with Asperger's, you know. So, you know, you have HFA, you're an Asper, you have Asperger's, and I do. That's why, you know, sometimes people misunderstand what it is, and I lost a lot of business, a lot of economic, commercial, financial, employment opportunities, which I loved during COVID, and that's how we gotta get doing on that, and something which we gotta be on the trajectory, you know, because that's all we got. So checking a little bit of those constellations, and you know, if you're an Aspie, you're part of a tiny minority like yours truly. Service, what did I say? Dragon Army, nothing to do with it. XYZ, pledge your allegiance to our family, and encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Big metropolis city, 2.5 million people. Big metropolis city, 2.5 million people, like a small country. And another one, that red. That's my favorite color. This one's smaller than the other ones, kind of get that half. I don't know how much volume. We gotta calculate. I'm aiming to calculate the volume. Will only be estimations. Hey, Donald Trump, Dragon versus Trump edition. How do we calculate the volume? You know, volume is to the power of 3, right? Areas is to the power of 2, right? cm squared, otherwise his volume is to the cm to 3, the power of 3, right? Anyways, anyhow, who knows what it do. I'm not perfect, far from it, but since 2018 I've been challenging down Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border. Still do. First time really I entered politics when Donald Trump imposed tariffs on the Canadian aluminum and steel back then, 10% on aluminum and steel in 2018. It's gonna be 7 years soon, and I'm wearing that backpack, red. I got a backpack. My red backpack. I got that backpack. That red backpack, you know, so you see there. Auctioning it for $1 million. There's another one. Good job. That's a double. Look at the trucks full of snow. Well, that's that logistics. Gotta get that work. LOV. You got overtime work, yours truly. I'm working with y'all in spirit, rock and roll, rainbow dragon style, baby. You want some LOV, some hugs? I got. Feet massages with it, blah blah blah. Security service and defense, blah blah. Bid your legions. Our family, you know. That's how we gotta get doing with that, and that's how we gotta get on the back to the Dragon versus Trump, because I'm still challenging Donald Trump, and I showed my red backpack, which I'm auctioning for $1 million. It's a bit bruised, worn out, because I wore it for more than 3.5 years. 3.5 years for more than 3.5 years there. So that's how we gotta get doing with that, and that's how we gotta get on the do, you know. So having worn it, I gotta be that, saying that we gotta be auctioning for $1 million to give half to my anonymous friend. If I make $1 million, I'm gonna give half 50%. And now we're already on the mountain side, getting close to West Mountain, 3-peak mountain, and like I said, it's a Dragon versus Trump special edition. And of course, I really entered politics when back in 2018, when I first heard that Donald Trump imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel. That's when I really entered politics. Before that, I was kind of on the sidelines, you know, just coming out of my depression in 2018. It's been only a few months, because in 2017 I crossed Canada coast to coast, and that event changed my whole life. So I encourage people to travel and see this great country, and North Americans unite. We don't need the border. I am for North American Union, the Canada-US joint Democratic Republic. That's where north, though. You are south of us, so it's basically like north and south uniting. I don't know about the 51st state, but I am for the king is absent. That's what I know. The king is absent. The king is absent, and yes, you know, we have enemies now, potential enemies, you know. Potential enemies, we have potential enemies, you know. Ships, and we've been having potential sabotage and espionage, and since our involvement in the past years with several conflicts, we got involved in a military manner, not just a diplomatic, humanitarian, financial manner, but we got involved by providing arms and weaponry, and so we made potential enemies, powerful enemies, and we see the solidification in the past 3.5 years of the China-Russia, Sino-Russia, North Korea in it. I guess China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, but China, Russia, the past years have been solidification of their military, political, economic alliance. And for all I know, when I go back to my headquarters, I can see that People's Republic of China has invaded the ROC, which is known as the Republic of China, also known as Taiwan. It's potentially, because that's a conflict which dates from the 20th century. So back to here, North America, we made great compromises and continue to do so in the 21st century, of which in the 20th century we made what I call the great linguistic compromise, the great linguistic compromise of the North American Civilizational Collective, of the great North American Civilizational Collective of the French language. Myself, I put it in with that rock and roll for the French, where about 9 million Quebecers, myself included, Quebecer, Canadian, North American, many past lives, many incarnations. This is home, and all who come to join us here from Montreal, Hawk Island, HAWK. We got those hawks. My totem bird, the hawk, HAWK. Rainbow dragon playing that rock and roll, Dragon versus Trump. I will to build the forgotten goddess temple. Construction workers, I gotta salute. Construction workers who build skyscrapers, who builded all these buildings. My place included, you know, you got it here, and they're gonna build together the North American People's Imperial Coliseum on the Canadian-US border for our unification in a Dragon versus Storm style. And the inauguration will be me fighting Donald Trump, as I've been challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match for more than 7 years. 7 years. For more than 7 years. For more than 7 years. For more than 7 years now. Well, it's gonna be 7 years actually in March 2025, and marking 7 years, or more than 7 years now, since I crossed Canada in 2017. More than 7 years, you know, and 5 years since I had COVID. So, you know, with all the scars, retrograde amnesia, loss of memory, and remembering mostly the past 7, 8, 9, 10 years, moving from a moldy place, being depressed, suicidal, and healing after I crossed Canada coast to coast. And that event, of course, made me come out of being depressed, and suicidal. And that's all we gotta get doing with that, and that's all we gotta keep on doing, you know, because it's here on the new world here, you know, to become something new, which we are, you know, we're a collective, you know, all going to join us here, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, my family, you know. I call my uncle Legault, cousin Trudeau. King is absent though. Cousin Trudeau, you know, the king is absent though. Where's the king at? Where the king at? It's not King Charles who's gonna come defend Canada coast to coast, that's for sure. If there's an invasion, or it's gonna be people like yours truly, Aspie, Dick, General Cuckold, Rainbow Cuckold, General Rainbow Cuckold. Already marched with my scars. I already marched. This is the third in a row for this week. Already marched today. Danced march more than the generals of NATO combined during COVID, and calling all to support the Dragon Army initiative, which is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. Across the collective, North American civilization, a collective across North America. And that's what we gotta be doing on that. So it's something which we gotta do on the go, which we gotta do on the new, you know. So something which we gotta be on the love, you know. So hopefully somebody making love now, LOVE, you know. Otherwise, what do we say? Fighting to save for, and it's not all about fight. You gotta have some LOVE, you know. Preferably, of course, get some charity with it, you know. Due to the fact, of course, gotta have some love, you know. It's not all about strength, although I understand, being that I have been living in a World War III type of mode since 2019. I've been living in a World War III type of scenario mode. So being that I've been living in a World War III type of scenario, type of mode, you know, that is the situational awareness that I predicted. So in many ways I live in that, with that scenario, and I have developed a great, super excellent workout training program system, of which I have myself performed more than 372. I encourage all to be adopted in high schools across North America, to be graded. And it's an efficient, effective, simple, yet behind the simplicity there's a complex science. There's a complex science behind it. So that complex science is the fact that it increases general overall fitness, and it is designed to go with a scenario, World War III scenario, and of course to be able to increase general overall fitness, and for the mobilization of a percentage of a population to they need to get fit to have reach a certain level of fitness. So I've been on a fitness journey more than 7 years now, since 2017, August, September, when I crossed Canada. I lost between 80 pounds and 93 pounds. Between 80 pounds and 93 pounds, although I bought wafers today, you know. I tend to buy when they see they're on special, and when my budget allows, wafers as a dessert, you know. I just love wafers. And Aspies, we have certain peculiar culinary traits is that sometimes we kind of eat a lot of the same thing. Although I don't mind variety, I actually cook pretty diverse. But I use a lot of beans in my cooking, for example, black and red beans specifically, black and red beans, and I also. But wafers is the good to go, you know. So, anyways, back to the Dragon versus Trump. Still challenging Donald Trump, like I said, and I will to build, as I proposed back then, to build a rink made of Canadian aluminum and steel, and with the threat of tariffs, the 25%, that will be catastrophic. We gotta avoid that. 25% is a quarter. That's mathematically that would be very, very improper. And you know, I've listened carefully to the dictums, the complaints, and whatever the protocols of Donald Trump. I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. I would have voted Kamala. Would have definitely voted Kamala, you know. And I'm a democratic Republican, you know. I'm a pro-labor and love universal revolutionary centrist. My centrism is North American centric. So my pro-labor and love, my universal revolutionary centrism is North American centrist. So that's what it is with that, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. So, being that it's North American centrist and public-private partnership based, being that it's based in public-private partnership, being that it's based in public-private partnership, but it's completely integrated. My universal revolutionary centrism, that is North American centric and is completely fused with my trinity of theories, which I'm calling the implementation across the North American civilizational complex across North America, being the CIT, citizen integration theory, the DRT, debt fusion theory, and the democratic fusion theory, the DFT, for the creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the Dragon Army, the North American Integrated Dance League, and the Dragon Army, the North American Integrated Security Service and Defense Force. And oh wow, look at this. This is really something here, eh? So much snow. So I gotta be careful to balance my body here. We're gonna go a little bit of a zigzag. We're gonna go straight, and it's gonna be time that I need to discuss the DRT now soon, but nonetheless, let's build together the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. See how it goes down. Now I'm on the mountain, so you can still go up. I'm on the mountain Mount Royal, of which the peaks are 3 peaks. Mountain system has 3 peaks, of which of course Westmount, Outremer, and of course Mount Royal, which we go often. So now we're entered Westmount. That's why when I came there, you saw that I came up. I was marching up steep, like towards the mountain, and now we're marching. We could go even marching higher. So now we're actually atop the peak called Westmount of Mount Royal. So you can see it goes down. So sometimes we're over there pointing the camera towards here, but there, when we're there, it's miles and kilometers away, because the 3-peak mountain system known as Mount Royal, which comprises Westmount Peak, Mount Royal proper peak, and Outremont Peak, it can be seen even from kilometers and hundreds of miles and hundreds of kilometers outside of the island of Montreal, and it's situated right between the east and the west, exactly at the heart of the island. But it's slightly south, not necessarily north, but it's exactly between the east and the west. It's exactly between the east and the west. See there how it goes down? So it goes down steep. So we're in the mountain now, on an island surrounded by a big river, St. Lawrence, big metropolis island here in Montreal. Well, we speak a lot of that French. Come learn some French with us. And you know, I don't know about that 51st state, but if you're gonna discuss, don't bully. I never like bullies. Invite us properly with some parades across the 50 states. Say, let's work something, let's join, and sign 3 executive orders, one for mass financing public health care. Sign that executive order for mass financing public health care. Sign as that executive order for mass finance. Sign that executive order for mass financing healthcare, and one for mass financing, not only healthcare, but one for mass financing the rebuilding of the North American inner urban cities, the North American ghettos, and one for mass financing, one for raising the minimum wage. Can't get tax. We got to implement 10% tax. That's got to get that 10% from the millionaires, billionaires. For the public, it's a public-private partnership, and we got to put 10% for own loans. Gonna discuss the DRT now. DRT, debt refusion theory, super important because, of course, it comes of me being cursed with Asperger's. In many ways, it's kind of a blessing, because geopolitics is one of my special interests, part of the trinity of special interest, aka obsessive interest, which I have. Geopolitics, sports and fitness, dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity, and rock and roll. 24/7, I'm involved in those activities in one shape, form, or other throughout the day, with many hours of work in those areas. Sports, fitness, dancing predominantly, and with that march being a fitness sport activity right now, and geopolitics, and of course rock and roll. So the DRT, we're gonna rock and roll my DRT theory, and we're gonna have to be implemented. And I say that is the only solution, or something very similar to my DRT theory. Why is that statement made so? Because to the fact that we now pay 46.5 billion on the interest only on the public debt in 2024. Last year was 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion, you heard that correct. Just the amount of interest paid on the public debt was 2024 46.5 billion. That was just the amount of interest paid on the public debt. 46.5 billion. The billion is 1,000 million, has 9 zeros, right? In 2020, 2021, the amount was 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion, double that times 2 is 40.6. So between 40.6 being the double of 20.3, 46.5, if you notice, mathematically it has more than doubled. Just debt servicing, just paying the interest on the public debt. So obviously, since the GDP, the economy of Canada has not doubled, the economy of Canada has not doubled, right? Then obviously we have to cut from the budget. What are we going to cut? The prison systems, correctional facilities, the public works, those picking up the garbage, the compost, the recycling, public services, the security services, RCMP, Popo, cops. What are we going to cut? What are we going to reduce? Because just like as a private citizen, if one's interest payments double, more than double in 3 years, while the salary only increases by so much percentage, and the average salary increase has been 4.4%. The average salary increase has been 4.4%. The average salary increase, the increase in 5 years from 2020 to 2025 this year, 4.4%. The average, some more, some less, some 2%, some 3%, some 7, 5, 6, maybe 5%, 10%, 15%. But how many salaries that that have doubled in the past since 2020? Not many. While the cost of living, gas has increased, price of eggs, price of rent. So that is the problem. That's why now we're at a point of an economic, financial catastrophe for many minority, for a for a majority. So no way, we have to implement my DRT theory. It's a compromise in the 21st century that we have to do it. Or something very similar which resembles mine. So I'm going to generally explain it, although there's sub details to it, but generally we have to implement it. It's an emergency. It's possible that tomorrow, on the 20th of February, there's a stock market crash. Worldwide economic financial collapse begins tomorrow, along with a black swan event, that the public finances of Canada collapse. The public finances of Canada, a financial collapse, a public financial collapse. Because again, of course, due to COVID, having marking today, celebrating 5 years since survived COVID, of course, due to COVID. But the fact that was during COVID, and COVID calls to us to implement programs, the government to implement programs for the sustaining of the population, in terms of that it was a health crisis and people had to be continue to paying rents, continue to paying the electricity bill, continue to pay for living, the food, the gas, all the expenses, right? Even during COVID, the lockdowns. So yes, programs have been implemented. So they added, mostly, not all due to the COVID. It was already high. Just the interest, not the principal, just the interest payments, right? That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the financial problem, because debt and credit is not bad negative in that way. It's just the interest. So it's not sustainable. Financial mathematical principia. Just imagine me, you, or me. I have a $10,000 debt to the RBC. I'm $10,000 in debt. I am $10,000 in debt to the RBC. To the Royal Bank of Canada. So I pay 11% interest. So my interest is 11%. That's how much I pay in interest. 11%. 11% in interest. So that is my interest, which I pay. Right? It's below because it was 3 weeks ago, Bank of Canada, Tiff Macklin lowered it. So it goes hand in hand with the decisions made by the central bank. That's how all the other financial institutions have ramifications with the decisions of a central banking institution. So mine went a bit lower than 11. It was 11.4 and now it's 10.8, I believe 10.89. So close to 11 still, but slightly lower. So imagine a citizen, you, somebody else, citizen X, if the interest payments that citizen X had to, let's say citizen X, for the mathematical financial principia, paid $156 interest in 2020-2021. That means that now, in last year, if you would have went from $156 to $333, that's more than double. If you went from $156 to $333, if you're gonna go from $156 to $333, that means that it's more than doubled, right? So in 3 years. But while the salary only increases by 5%, 10%, 15%, that means that citizen X nonetheless will have to reduce the spending. There's no choice. The fact that if the interest payments double, more than double, while the salary only increases by a 5%, 10%, let's say 15%, how many salaries you know that doubled, or more than doubled? Not many, if any. Not many, if any. But the interest payment double or more than double. That means you have to reduce, cut the budget. Cut your Disney Plus, cut your Netflix, stop buying wine, stop buying cheese, stop buying eggs, stop going to the cinema, stop going out for the restaurant, stop going to the cinema, stop going out to the restaurant, stop going to the cinema, stop going out to the cinema, stop going out, stop whatever the case may be. You have to reduce the spending, whatever you spend. The income has to be reduced. The income has to be reduced. The spending has to be reduced. You know? That's just what it is. It cannot be sustained. That's just the financial mathematical principle. So it's the same principle with the public finances. It's the same 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 with the public finances. So it's the same with the public finances. Congratulations again to one of the few jogging on a cold day like this, winter, February 19th. It's a good investment. I applaud. If you're dragging on me, pledge your allegiance, friends with benefits only. I got with consent hygiene. You gotta be an adult though. Gotta have that 18 plus, you know. Massages. Otherwise you get hugs, or I read you some stories, you know, or I sing some rock and roll. Although with that South Park nowadays, I guess we could be a little bit more lower some thresholds, I guess. I gotta love the youth, but nonetheless. Massages, I got feet washing, blah blah, nothing to do with it. DRT, debt fusion theory. Gotta get it for the DRT, debt fusion theory. DRT. So back to what I was saying, one has to reduce. The expenses have to be reduced and cut. That is just the principle. There's no other way out of where we are now, and it's the same with an individual. An individual will have to reduce the budget. We'll have to spend less. In other words, just spend less. Cut somewhere in the budget. Cut some things or some things, plural. Because if the interest payments double, just like it happened with the public financial system. That's what happened in 3 years, from 2020 to 2021. The interest paid, man, you can check these numbers with the Bank of Canada. I got proof because it was published in, I think, it was in November 2023, for the budget in 2024, you know, what is going to be the interest payments. So that's what it is. So you can check with the Bank of Canada. These numbers are official on the public. This is public financial information. This is public financial information, public finances. So that's what it is. So it's something which we got to do. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, the DRT explained, and again, something similar to my DRT debt refusion theory, which contains integrated in it is the monetary integration theory, is the monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is integrated in my financial theory. Monetary integration theory is integrated in my financial theory. Monetary integration theory is integrated in my financial theory. Monetary integration theory is the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union. So the Italians, they got rid of the Germans as well, and the Italians, they destroyed their own national central banks. They got destroyed. They destroyed in the 90s the Europeans. So keep in mind that my DRT theory, debt refusion theory, contains in it monetary integration theory, which is exactly the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union. They destroyed their national central banks. They do not have central banks in Europe anymore. They destroyed or annulled their old currencies. They destroyed their old currencies. They now have a common currency called the euro, and they have a common multinational central bank, the ECB, the European Central Bank. So my DRT theory contains that theory. So again, it's something that is the only solution, or something very similar to my DRT theory, debt refusion theory. There's no other way out of it. So that's what we got to do with that. So it's something which we got to be on the trajectory. So we have to implement it. There's no other way but the implementation of the DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the universal exchange and of the universal exchange. Again, the interest payments have doubled, more than doubled on the public debt. Tomorrow we can wake up to a public financial collapse. Tomorrow, Thursday, the 20th of February. It could be on the 21st. It could be next week, 1st of March. It can happen. That's the thing. Because of the situation where we are now, it's a possibility, being not to be too alarmist or to be too detrimental, but it's because of this, and this is a mathematical principles of the financial situation where with the public financial situation of Canada, the fact that the interest payments have more than doubled in just 3 years, while the GDP has not doubled. The GDP sometimes went negative. So obviously, it's very rare that countries' GDP double it takes sometimes decades. It took China 44 years, right, to double its GDP. China 44 years for some rare cases, like small populated countries like the United Arab Emirates in a decade because of the discovery of oil or something like that. With FDI, in smaller countries, FDI stands for foreign direct investment, but the flow of capital, blah blah blah. It's always something which can occur. So. Wow, look at this now. So the DRT, debt refusion theory, explained, and again, something similar is the only solution. That is the only solution. So that's how we gotta get doing on that. So keep that in mind. That something similar to that, DRT. See how it goes down, down, down. Steep, steep, steep. Sometimes we're far away, miles and kilometers away there, pointing towards the mountain here, West Mount. So. And we're on the boulevard, going east, to situate you geographically. So the DRT, debt refusion theory, my DRT theory contains monetary integration theory, so I'm going to explain it now. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, my $10,000 your coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're going to convert, and again, the implementation of my DRT theory, which includes monetary integration theory, which is the financial theory which the Europeans implemented in the 1990s by the creation of the ECB, the European Central Bank, and the euro, the putting into circulation of a common currency known as the euro. So we're going to have to do the same. because my theory contains that theory in it, but we're going to do it North American style. And where we are now in 2025 with the financial situation, you know, with the financial situation, where we are now, with the financial situation, where we are now. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, my $10,000 included. So all the debt, I got $10,000 through the RBC Royal Bank of Canada as a debt to my on the credit line. So $10,000, I'm $10,000 in debt. 10000, 4 zeros after the one, 10,000. Because a billion has 9 zeros. That's why when I say that, of course, the public debt of Canada, just the interest went from 20.3 billion to 46.5 billion. Keep in mind that that's the interest only that we pay on the public debt, and a billion is 1,000 million. So that's from 20,000 million to 46,500 million. Imagine. Because the billion has 9 zeros, so it's possible that tomorrow the public financial collapse begins. Black Swan on the horizon. There's a Black Swan event in the public. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. This is financial emergency here. It's a DRT. Although I don't mind people laughing and make with my Asperger's can have some weird characteristics and traits, but that's what it is. So we have to be really mindful of that situation, so that the DRT theory is the only financial situation which we have, the DRT, the debt refusion theory, the DRT, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're going to take all the public and the private debt. So my $10,000, your $10,000, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're going to take all the public and the private debt. So my debt, your debt, our debt, your debt, my debt. So all the public and the private debt, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. And my DRT theory, which includes my integration theory, is preferably, and I call for the implementation, binational, just like the establishment of the NHL, National Hockey League, the PVHL, Professional Women's Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, in a binational manner. Canada, US. Canada first, if not, and it can be extended, because Mexico is part of North America, so it can be extended in principle, but Canada, US joint, preferably at the same time to be implemented. Canada joint. It takes a public-private partnership. That's how I'm calling on my Scorpio brother Bill Gates, and Scorpio brother Joe Biden, Scorpio brother Larry Fink of BlackRock and Blackstone are two financial institutions which are divergent, but they split after 1989. But it takes multiple public-private partnership for this one. So, and of course, it takes not just Scorpios, but Sagittariuses, Leos, and Pisces, and all the astrological signs. So we're gonna take all the public-private debt, my $10,000, your $10,000, convert all the public-private debt of Canada and Canadians into US dollars, into US dollars. See? Wow, I just found an unopened milk, which it's best before tomorrow, February 20th. Best before tomorrow. I thought it was 2029, but I say it can be 2029. First I saw like October 2029. I said October 2029. So October 23rd, 2029, October 23rd, 2029, October 23rd, 2029. But then I look closer because I have to go to my optometrist. I said, no, that can't be. It's milk. So I just found this milk, and it's no food waste, Longueuil, Quebec, Canadian milk. So I'm just going to bag it. I'm going to discuss the DRT. I guess it fell from somebody's bag, and I guess it has to be tonight or tomorrow, because it's kind of frozen now. So just gonna put it in the backpack in my lion pouch. Okay, got it in. I got it in the backpack, the lion backpack. So I'm grateful, thankful for it. I'm gonna have to disinfect my hands, although the germs, bacteria, microbes, being that it's -11 and it feels colder, it's gotta put my gloves back on. I guess the bacteria, germs, and microbes are kind of less of a threat, but nonetheless, I do keep the COVID protocols, and when I get back home, everything that I buy, I disinfect with made in Canada disinfect. Back to the DRT, debt refusion tea. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna take it all. So we're gonna convert it into US dollar. We're gonna convert. Salutation again. Third one I see today, third one I see today, you know, so that's what I gotta do. So I gotta do with that. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, my $10,000, your $10,000, all the public and the private debt, including my 10,000 coast to coast, ocean to ocean, all that money, we're gonna convert it into US dollars, So all the debt, the public and the private debt, we're gonna convert it into US dollars. All of it, all the public and the private debt. So we're gonna convert it, all the debt, into US dollars. We're gonna add it with a US Canada joint. All that money is gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank. For a new central bank. So all that money, we're gonna be creating a new central bank. And we're gonna create, of course, a new central bank here in North America. And we're gonna issue a new currency. And all the money in circulation will be the money in circulation plus the public-private debt. So we're gonna create the UE. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. U dot universal, E exchange unit. The U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The universal exchange unit. We're gonna set an interest rate level of 10%. It can be 3.33, 7.18, 4.18, 1.56, 9.3, below 10% by principal. Below 10% by principal. So we're gonna take all the public-private debt, convert it to US dollar. That's gonna be the initial money supply. We're gonna create this new public-private partnership central bank, North America. We're gonna issue the new currency, the U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit, because that's what money is. It's a universal exchange unit. It's a universal exchange unit. So that's what we're gonna be doing. That's what we're gonna be doing with that. So we're gonna create the universal exchange unit, and we're gonna create this UE, the universal exchange unit. So all the debt, public and private debt, it's going to be the initial money supply. All that money is going to be the initial money supply. And with that money, we're going to be able to do lots of good things. We're going to mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise. Mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise. Mass finance, of course, fitness, and whatever the case may be. We're going to mass finance fitness, mass finance the building construction of 44 tunnels, 44 tunnels, construct and build 44 tunnels, the number after 43. Before 45 is 44 tunnels based on my theoretical papers in case of a thermonuclear war to build them for the continuity of the North American civilization complex in case of a thermonuclear war, to build those 44 tunnels inspired by the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, headquarters of NORAD, and by the Montreal Underground Village. So build that across North America. 44 tunnels, in case of a thermonuclear war. And please, somebody, Oprah, my anonymous friend deserves to be 7 times. The number after 6 before 8 is 7 times. Please, Oprah, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Rihanna. Please buy a house for my anonymous friend here on the Ramsey. Anyway, so with that money, we're going to be able to do lots of good. Mass finance fitness, mass finance tourism, rebuild the infrastructure, rebuild the bridges, the aqueducts, the bridges of North America, mass public-private partnership for the rebuilding of the bridges, of the infrastructure, mass buying, rebuilding the bridges, the infrastructure of the collective. Lots of good, and implement Operation Northern Scorpio based on my Total Mobile Defense Theory system, or TD or TM, Total Mobile Defense Theory, TMD, TMD, Total Mobile Defense Theory, or an S. The acronyms are 4 letters or 5 depending on the usage. I'm not going to go into in depth because that's matter of collective North American security. That's matters of collective North American security. That's matters of collective North American security. So the Total Mobile Defense Theory system via the Operation Northern Scorpio for security service and defense, and assisting in building those 44 tunnels and rebuilding the infrastructure of the collective, the bridges, the roads, the aqueducts, and all calling, all winning, loving, pledge allegiance, support a dream, the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, and the implementation of my DRT theory, debt refusion theory, the DRT theory, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit. That's how we gotta be doing. That's how we gotta be doing. We gotta be implementing it. There's no other way. Here we are at the base of the mountain. I'm not gonna go atop the Belvedere because we usually go. You know, we go there often. My second home, but here's my second home. Not just my home, but yours, ours, because it's public. It's not just mine, and that's how we gotta implement the DRT, debt refusion theory. And here you already know this is the Mountain Mount Royal. The headquarters of the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom is at the top of the Belvedere, conjuring act there, you know, atop the Belvedere, conjuring act. But this time we're not going to go all the way to the top. We're just going to go, because I said I'm going to go between 5 hours and 7 hours. So just going to get, yesterday I did a few hours, and Monday I did almost seven Monday, and Friday I reached with 7. So it's going to go a few hours tomorrow also. So just going to want to get back home before 11 today, you know, get some rest, not to be overworked. He's already put in more marching steps than the journals of the free world. So the DRT, debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the Universal Exchange Unit. The UE, that's what we gotta be implemented in, that's what we gotta be implementing in, and that's what we gotta be doing for that. So the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, that's all we gotta be implementing, and that's all we gotta be working on. I'm a bit tempted to take a little bit on the road to go all the way to the top, but it being that it's already, let's see, yeah, I think it's gonna be for another time, because I'm gonna go south, so it's already like 8:44. So by the time I get back, it's probably gonna be close to 11. So if I go, then it'll be another hour, so it's gonna be close to midnight, and I want to get home before midnight. But here we are. That's where I usually go, right? Anybody want to finance? I go up and down these stairs 300 times. So we're not gonna go all the way to the top of the mountain. It's just gonna be content to touch the rock here. Let's touch a little bit of the rock. Give some kisses to the rock. Here we are, kiss the mountain. My second home, and Belvedere Conjurac is up there, you know, about 44 minutes or so from here, about 44 minutes, almost 45 from here to there. So here we are on the side of the mountain, and the DRT encouraging on to workout, train, exercise. You know, we gotta switch it a bit on that French, because we not bad prevents. Special Dragon versus Trump edition. We gotta get it for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors. How about those firefighters? Please finance the millionaires, billionaires, the owners, and multi-millionaire players of the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please finance them. A massage therapy sessions. That's how I want to do the massage therapy sessions, you know. They deserve it, earn it more than me. I'm going to take a bath, although I've been craving a massage therapy session for years now. I'm going to be content with taking a bath, and gratitude is great for mental health. Yours truly, Aspie, artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical theoretical analyst, and theorist, and mystic, mystic. Born in the USA 3 times, post 7076. Sometimes was born a man and woman right here on the island, close to the mountain a few times, even before. Jacques Cartier first mounted the Mount Royal, and sometimes the Quebecer woman, Québécoise. So that's how we rock and roll now at 50-50. Forget that part of me. Sometimes you just gotta focus on the ideas and the theories, Sometimes you just gotta play the black and white and rainbow, and sometimes in the center, in the middle. And being part of a minority, double LGBTQ plus ASPI, having Asperger's, it hasn't been an easy road, and no need to spy on me, Secret Services of Russia, Secret Services of China. Don't cross the ocean, don't cross the Atlantic to the east nor the Pacific to the west. I like my BDSM switch. I wanna kiss my big rainbow dragon booty for world peace. Wanna kiss my rainbow dragon booty for world peace. Wanna kiss my rainbow dragon booty for world peace. Not a problem, rock and roll. Let's get a little bit of that rock and roll. Dedicated to those who are gonna remove the snow. To my anonymous friend, sister, who I'm gonna ask again, propose again, special BDSM switch, open rainbow cuckold marriage, maybe. Open rainbow cuckold marriage, general rainbow cuckold. Tiny clit, dick clit, little scar, androgynous, plenty of scars, plenty of survived COVID. Let's build the North American Imperial Coliseum. North American People's Imperial Coliseum on the Canadian border. Let's go for that Dragon versus Storm boxing match. And the dancing goddess. The goddess, forgotten goddess, or the goddess of many names temple, the goddess of many names temple, the goddess of many names, the goddess of many names, the goddess of trillions of billions of millions of names. Names, if I name it, gonna thunder. Get that thunder through holy for this piece of dust to pronounce the name of the goddess who created the sun, dances, and the fruit she bore is the sun, That goddess of many names, where her dwelling place is the pyramids. That 333 under my feet, 156 kisses. You know who it is, 93 legions, blah, 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 blah. Gotta get it for that. Papa Crowley buried me in New Jersey, a third of me in Mount Royal, a third of me here, a top in the back of the Belvedere Conjurac, 1/3 of me at the back of the Belvedere Conjurac, 1/3 buried me, Belvedere Conjurac, a third of me up in Hampton, New Jersey, a third of me up in Hampton, New Jersey, a third of me up in Hampton, New Jersey, a third of me up in the city of the pyramids, That's all we gotta get doing with that. So that's all we gotta get doing, So sometimes we just gotta do it now, Something which we gotta be on the vision, Here it is, And read that. For some reason, I had the Crowley's poetry, the Book of the Law, with verses from the Bible where Jacob and Esau kissed and hugged, where Jacob and Esau kissed and hugged, and Genesis chapter 50. Anyways, plus Papa Crowley, when I said bury a third of me up in New Jersey, Hampton, New Jersey, and a third of me up in Mount Royal, a third of me up in one third up in where the pyramids are near Cairo, a third of me here on the mountain, Mount Royal, and a third of me in Hampton, New Jersey with Papa Crowley, Aleister Crowley. Let's go, ready to rock and roll? Ready to rock and roll for my anonymous friend, and I'm gonna propose again, open BDSM switch marriage, open marriage, whatever. It's only one person if I'm gonna get married anyways. I'm gonna propose again because I got the only yes I really need, And I'm gonna propose again, and then I'm gonna propose again, and then I'm gonna propose again, and then for those who remove the snow, those who remove the snow operations, and for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the firefighters, the electricians, the plumbers, truckers, and all those who made less than 50,000 in last year, 2024, myself included, made way less. So let's go, rock and roll. I said, let's go, singing me some of that good loving. Some of that good baking, somebody cooking, somebody shaking, somebody go and do it. Remove the snow up and go nasty with it. Gotta sing it for the butchers, gotta sing it for those firefighters. Hey, now look at the steel. Got a construction workers. Let's build. I want to build to build the pyramid. House of the dragon. Scarlet, scarlet, red, scarlet, crimson, scarlet, crimson, scarlet, crimson, scarlet, crimson is the shades of red, red, red. Scarlet crimson or shade of red, shades of red, red, red. Scarlet crimson or shades of red, shades of red, shades of red, shades of red. Scarlet crimson, the pyramid house of the dragon, and the fourth building, which we'll to build. Thank you, construction workers. Gonna create a summer massage to position is the Rainbow People's Palace. Rainbow People's Palace, the Rainbow People's Palace for my fellow LGBTQ community, for my fellow LGBTQ community, for my fellow LGBTQ community. So that's what we gotta be doing, and that's what we gotta be on the lookout, you know. So sometimes that's what we gotta be doing, you know. And it's something which we gotta be on the doers and on the. Let's build together the North American People's Imperial Coliseum and the Forgotten Goddess Temple. Let's go for the rock and roll, swing it. How about in the Canada through North Strong and Free? But you gotta add some LOVE. Cause strength and freedom ain't enough. And the free and the brave and the strong and the loving. Rainbow Dragon, that's what I'm saying. Let's get that Canada, US, for the dragon with no stress, that unite that North America. For you know we love it be, love it in that English and that French, you know that's the pyramid, my favorite skyscraper. And you know we gotta swing it, for the rock and roll, you know we bring it. And I go up and down the mountain, you know that I sing along, that a song with a new song, hit note, I ain't got no money for the guitar, you already know the scar. Out of freestylers I know, freestylers I go, rock and roll is all I do. With the push-ups under you, dancing for the butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors and truckers and the factory workers and the plumbers and the warehouse workers, those daycare workers, changing some of those smelly diapers. Gotta send some LOV for that you know, so that you see, so that up and down you see. For the truckers on the road, firefighters, those picking up the garbage, that's the roller. Public workers, that's sanitation. Gotta give me formation, gotta give me formations, gotta give me formations, gonna left and right and see, gotta left and right and be, gotta give me formation so that you know, so that you be, so that you know, so that you see. Where the bees in the snow, cause the honey on the road, and you know, I just sing it for the blow, I done live plenty of scars, survive COVID or die, I done dance up in the light, I done dance up in the trice, I done dance up in the lights, for the butchers and the nurses and the doctors and the plumbers and the electricians and those firefighters up the sky, you know that I sing a light, lights up. Gotta give me some of those hands up for the truckers and the nurses and the butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors and the firefighters. Gotta give me some left and right and sex. Ain't no sexing for the rainbow, dragon roll over black and white and pink. Give me some pinkies, some lickies. Licky. For the kissy that you see, for the rainbow that you be, for the rainbow that you see. Having a rock and roll you need, that's a mountain on the knees and the snow you know you please. That's a fairy that you know. I'm a rainbow dragon, let's go rock and roll. I hit it hard up in the scarlet. Marry me a harlot and a whore that's wanna play nigga galore. May I be avenged that 11-fold. I added be some interest on the doors. Gotta be I owe nobody nothing. That's why I roam free send the generals. When I wanna gotta get it. For the trump, you know the trumpet. You know that I sing it, that's the best. You know that I sing it, that's the list. For you know I've been upset. Let's go for the let the hair down that you know I sets. Let's do some push-ups and some squats. Big booty, I got it, but the rainbow that it be. For the twerking that you see, that's the new form harmony. Whoa, the Canada true no strong and free. Pour some liquor that you see, pour some beer that you be. For the puck and left and right you see. For another road you see, for another road you be, for another road you see. For the rock and roll, that's another melody, for another roll, that's a melody. And the harmony up in the rock and roll, and the harmony up in the rock and roll, and the harmony up in the rock and roll. For the drool, and for the does, and for the drews, and for the scores. For the scores up in you see, for the red you see. Hey, for the glance up in the trance, for the left up in the lancer. That's another sing, that's another rock and roll and blings. Brings a, I don't know. Just the rock and the roll and the rock and the snow and the rock and the snow and the rap and the dough. And the rock and the snow and the rock and the dough and the rock and the grow. And the rock of the go and the rock of the snow and the rock of the go. I got a goddess, got a kisses, gotta say goddess, go retarded. What about it when I dance it in the trance up in the light? Lighted, that's the star up in the lighted, that's the star up in the light, see. The lights, that's the 19th February, so that you see. Plenty of me, plenty of harmony that you're dealing. I don't gamble. Throw me some dice for love and kisses, I got plenty that I lust up in the dew. I've been see you, you know that I love my homos. Play it on that Pride Parade like it's a let's go. On that 24/7 everyday Pride Parade with a rainbow dragon, let's go. Black and white and rainbow, gotta kiss it, it's some cigars. Gotta give it for the scars, gotta give it for the love, gotta give it for the nutter. Flippin' dough, flippin' dough, flippin' dough. For the Melanie Heaven, let's go. Let's go. For the truckers on the road carrying me some other potatoes. Let's get down and dirty, up and clean we go. And you know, train conductors, that's your choo-choo. Gotta sing up in the workers. Hey, for the workers, that's Collective. Dragon, that's a hectare. Give me some of that North American Collective Workers Party. Let's go for that North American Collective Workers Party. Let's go for that North American Collective Workers Party. So that you see, so that you see, so that you be, so that you be. And another trees for another season, another trees and another see this. And another bling, and another trees and the harmony up in the singer. Sing it for a longer, sing it for a song, sing it for a dollar for the stars. Hey, for another guitar, for the mellow, for the scars. They gotta lean on it, figure some skates. They gotta lean for the figure some skates. Skate up in the ice, dance up in the snow. Already slid with the sled up in the go. Hey, we not a moving, that's a go. Got a moving, that's a roll. Skyscrapers, that's for sure. Where the cranes at? Where the cranes at? Change the lane up in the Prudence. Change the lane. Hey, from Canada, coast to coast, Quebec down Montreal, for all the way to Alberta. Got the British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and Nova Scotia. Got a hell up in the Yukon. Got a hell up in the Yukon. All the way that 10 plus that 3, that's the 13th. And for the 50 states, because that's my family also. For the 50 states, let's go New York, New Jersey, Tennessee, California, that's Seattle, Arkansas, and that's North Dakota, South Carolina, North Carolina. Gotta give it down the middle so that you know up in the Minnesota, Mississippi. Minnesota, gotta go up and down and east and west for the 50 states. Texas, gotta see that Alabama. Out of Florida, squeeze me some orange juice, me some liquor in it. For that Kentucky, that's the bourbon. Tennessee, up in the let's go. Georgia, up in Atlanta, let's go. Show me some of that loving, some of that hips be shaking for that. All the way, you know, we gotta go. And you know, up in the Ohio, the Vermont, the Maine, with the Maine, the line Maine ain't the Maine. And you know, New England, that's the New Jersey, that's the New Yorker. That you see, all the way to the other side, east and west, you know, we say that English for that French. We gotta put in like we here in the Belle Province. You know, we got a toaster for the goddess, that's the bringer, for the goddess, that's the singer. When God bless, I say God is kiss. When I say God bless, I say God is kiss. When I say God bless, I say God is kiss. That was a little bit of freestyle rainbow rock and roll French, because we're in la belle province. Et voilà, votre dragon arc-en-ciel vient de finir avec une chanson longue. Ben, c'était plus en mode libre, juste la création sur place du rock'n'roll, parce que vous savez, le rock'n'roll avec la géopolitique et l'entraînement physique, le sport, que je préfère, c'est la danse, c'est ma trinité d'intérêts spéciaux en tant que Asperger's avec un citoyen, votre dragon arc-en-ciel qui vit avec l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, là, ces intérêts, puis ces intérêts, ça préoccupe pas mal de mon temps au quotidien depuis bien des années, puis j'ai une routine dans ce travail, parce que j'ai fait beaucoup de travail indépendant dans ce domaine, puis j'ai eu beaucoup d'emplois durant la COVID aussi que j'ai aimé, mais ça a été quand même difficile de maintenir à cause qu'il y a beaucoup de malcompréhension là, vis-à-vis ma condition de neurodivergence. C'est encore de mieux en mieux ces dernières années. Il y a de plus en plus de connaissances, puis les gens sont plus à l'aise, puis connaissent plus cette condition de neurodivergence qu'on appelle l'Asperger's, l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, qui n'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est pas une maladie, c'est juste une condition de neurodivergence qui fait que les gens comme moi-même, on a de la difficulté dans certaines interactions, certaines normes de la société, des protocoles de la société, puis des choses que c'est plus difficile pour nous, les Asperger's, de comprendre, de savoir, puis de vivre avec. Mais on est bon quand même dans des choses qu'on peut être bon, comme moi-même dans la géopolitique. Aujourd'hui, bien sûr, j'ai passé 6 heures, quasiment 6 heures avec intensité, bien sûr, en faisant l'analyse puis la théorie en géopolitique, tu sais, en faisant l'analyse en géopolitique. J'ai fait, bien sûr, ces analyses que j'ai faites, bien sûr, depuis bien des années. Puis, bien sûr, je dois dire, puis je répète que j'ai prévu la situation actuelle en 2019, bien sûr. J'ai prévu la situation qui se déroule en ce moment. D'une manière générale, j'avais prévu que l'humanité entière se dirigera vers une conflagration internationale sur une troisième guerre mondiale. Fait que je peux dire, depuis octobre-novembre 2019, que je suis quand même dans un état en tant que citoyen, je vis dans un mode comme si on serait dans une troisième guerre mondiale. Puis bien sûr, mes initiatives, mes protocoles, puis de qu'est-ce que je suis très fier d'avoir créé, fait la création d'un entraînement physique qui ne requiert aucun équipement. C'est un entraînement physique que moi-même, j'ai performé sur YouTube, sur plus en ligne, sur Facebook. Vous pouvez voir plus que 372 session de mon entraînement physique. Puis aujourd'hui, cette marche, je la dédie bien sûr à ceux qui font le déneigement. Puis la dernière fois que j'ai entendu à la radio, c'est 17% de la neige a été déneigée, fait que je dois chanter un peu de rock and roll, puis je dédie cette marche entraînement physique pour eux autres. Je vois quand même, il y a des places qui sont bien faites, mais quand même, on a vu qu'il y a bien des places, qu'il y a bien du travail à faire, bien sûr. Il y a bien du travail à faire dans bien des places, bien sûr, pour que ça fasse bien du travail. Mais je vois que dans certaines places, ça a été bien fait quand même. Par ici, que ça a bien fait, comme ici, là. Ça a été bien déneigé, je pense. Le déneigement, ça va bien, mais c'est dans d'autres places plus que d'autres, là. Comme ici ou dans certains coins ici, là. Ça fait bien sûr que ça fait de l'entraînement physique pour eux autres. Puis bien sûr, ça va prendre bien du travail jusqu'à lundi. Je pense que ça a été fini. Mais ici, je pense que ça a été quand même bien fait pour avoir fait bien sûr de ces informations ici dans ce contexte de déneigement. De vis-à-vis les tempêtes qu'on a eues, ça a été un record, mais c'était un double tempête quand même. Ça a été 3 jours à part, mais avant-hier, ça a été frappé fort le lundi. Dimanche, lundi, puis la semaine passée, mercredi, jeudi. Fait que ça a fait quand même un écart de 3 jours, mais d'accumulation, ça a été un record depuis 1941. Un record depuis 1941 qu'on a battu le record qui a été établi en 1941. Fait que c'est quand même quelque chose, si on y pense, là. Tu sais, c'est quand même quelque chose que ça a fait. Ça a eu quand même l'effet vis-à-vis ces démarches qui ont été faites. Bon, mais c'est ça que c'est... c'est ça que... C'est sûr que ça va prendre du temps pour tout enlever ça, pour tout enlever la neige qui a été accumulée, qui s'est accumulée. Mais comme je dis, c'est un record qui a été battu là, depuis 1941. C'est un record qui a été battu depuis 1941. C'est un record. Fait que ça a bien fait pour avoir battu ce beau record. C'est un record qui a été battu. C'est des choses qu'on doit faire de la prudence. C'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on aille nous-mêmes. Donc, c'est... des choses que... des choses qu'il faut qu'on vit avec. Mais ici, je vois que ça a été quand même une bonne ça a été quand même un bon déneigement, tu sais. C'est quand même un bon déneigement. Je vois vis-à-vis, ben c'est sûr qu'on est au centre-ville quand même. Fait que je me dirigerai pas vers le centre-ville non plus, mais juste que j'ai passé par la montagne, donc en faisant ce petit détour que... Pas un détour, mais j'ai dit je suis passé sur le côté de la montagne, mais parce que je veux arriver chez nous avant minuit. J'ai décidé de ne pas aller jusqu'au Belvédère, au sommet de Belvédère. J'ai essayé de tourner un peu ici, sur le côté, ici, dans le bord, dans le bout ici. Fait que, oh, le rouge, ma couleur préférée, mais c'est rouge ou rose. Faut que je vérifie mes... Faut que je vérifie mes... Faut que je vérifie mes... Faut que je vérifie... Faut que je fasse des vérifications, que je fasse... Faut que j'aille voir l'optométriste. L'optométriste. Faut que je voie l'optométriste, mais... Faut que... J'ai un rendez-vous en mars, là, fait que... Je vais aller voir l'optométriste. Bon. Là, je vais discuter de la TRD, puis encore une fois, c'était une marche entraînement de danse de Dragon contre homme. Vous savez que depuis 2018, depuis que Trump a imposé des tarifs Donald Trump, il a imposé Donald Trump, il a imposé des tarifs sur la manipulation en 2018. Ça va faire en mars, ça va faire 7 ans qu'il a imposé des tarifs. Puis moi, après ça, en 2018, j'ai imposé 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% sur l'aluminium puis l'acier, Fait que c'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'il faut que ça fasse comme ça. Fait que c'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'on doit vivre ensemble. Là. C'est des choses qu'on doit éviter de faire de toutes nos forces, d'avoir d'imposition des tarifs de 25%, d'imposition des tarifs de 25%, d'imposition des tarifs de 25%, tu sais. Imposer des tarifs de 25% sur tous les biens, là, en mars, ça va être un désastre. Fait qu'il faut qu'on fasse de toutes nos forces pour ne pas avoir ces tarifs. Puis moi, j'ai des idées, la théorie en tant que philosophe, artiste, athlète et analyste théoricien en géopolitique, encore une fois, qui a prévu la situation qui se déroule en ce moment. Je l'ai prévu en 2019, en octobre-novembre, puis aujourd'hui, je dois dire que on est le 19 février. On est le 19 février, donc je dois dire que je célèbre 5 ans en 2020, entre 7 février 2020 et 24 mars 2020. 2020, ça fait 5 ans là, déjà, j'ai eu la COVID. Je m'en souviens, c'était comme la mort, la pestilence, la maladie. Vraiment, je suis tombé malade, c'était comme la mort, la pestilence, la maladie. C'était vraiment comme la mort, la pestilence, puis la maladie. Puis j'étais vraiment malade, tu sais. J'étais vraiment malade, fait que je suis tombé malade, puis en tombant malade, je dis souvent, je suis mort dans ma grotte de dragon arc-en-ciel. Il n'y a rien que je veux retourner en arrière personnellement moi-même. Puis j'ai survécu la COVID, puis je vis avec les 3 vaccins que j'ai eu. 3 fois, je me suis fait vacciner. Puis je garde quand même les protocoles parce que je pense que les bactéries, puis les germes, puis les microbes, tu sais, c'est bon qu'on garde les protocoles hygiéniques de l'hygiène, tu sais, en public, là, parce que, tu sais, l'hygiène en public, c'est une responsabilité de citoyen collectif. C'est l'individu puis le collectif. C'est toujours ce relatif, ces compromis qu'on fait entre l'individu, la liberté et la sécurité. Puis maintenant, ma liberté, ma sécurité avec la liberté et la sécurité des autres citoyens aussi. Que ça soit en harmonie. Puis avec mon travail que je fais en ce moment, cette philosophie rock'n'roll avec la discussion de mon initiative de Dragon contre Trump, parce que je fais appel à Donald Trump de se battre contre moi dans un combat de boxe. Puis j'ai les gants rouges qui ont été donnés par mon ami anonyme, que je dis toujours, si je fais 1 million, ben, je vais donner la moitié. Si je fais 1 million, ben, je vais donner la moitié, parce que c'est comme ça, par grâce. Mais je veux bâtir aussi, avec l'aide des travailleurs en construction, le Colisée du peuple nord-américain impérial, ou le Colisée impérial du peuple nord-américain, le Colisée impérial du peuple nord-américain sur la frontière du Canada et des États-Unis. Puis là, en voyant ces lumières, je dois quand même faire une méditation. faire une méditation sur le travail qui s'est fait lieutenant. Je pense que le chien me dit bonjour dragon, mais si c'est des poodles, je peux les flatter, sinon je commence à éternuer s'ils se rapprochent trop proche de mon visage, de moi-même, de mon corps, si on le poil épais l'épaisseur puis la grandeur du poil, ça en fait un peu... ça me donne des... J'ai des réactions allergiques, comme des allergies, sauf les poodles par exemple. Les poodles, je peux les flatter à journée longue, il n'y a pas de problème, mais sauf les autres chiens là, qui sont un peu avec le poil. Ça dépend de la grandeur et de la longueur du poil. Bon, en tout cas. Puis je dois dire quand même un petit amour, un petit rock'n'roll pour les travailleurs d'Hydro-Québec en voyant ces lumières là-bas. Je pense aux travailleurs du passé, du 20e siècle, tu sais, qui ont bâti toutes ces centrales, puis comment qu'on doit bâtir d'autres centrales, bien sûr, pour bâtir d'autres centrales dans le futur. Fait que, en étant québécois, canadien, nord-américain, puis quelqu'un qui est un philosophe qui appelle à Donald Trump de combattre dans un combat de boxe. Dans un combat de boxe, puis quelqu'un aussi qui est... Je vis en ce moment une crise financière, je suis en stress financier, mais je dois quand même commencer là, avec la gratitude. La gratitude, c'est super important. La gratitude, j'ai payé mon loyer, j'ai payé ma facture d'électricité, j'ai du café, j'ai du thé, je viens d'acheter ma deuxième... c'est comme dans un bol, du café instantané, parce qu'il était réduit à moitié prix, 50%. Fait que je suis allé en acheter un autre, fait que je l'ai fait dans mon budget, fait que j'ai dit, je vais pouvoir me permettre, parce que là, le prix qui a augmenté du café, je dois faire un petit budget puis voir pour m'acheter du café. Puis je suis allé à une autre place, puis je l'ai payé 3,99, 3,79. Puis j'ai vu, je suis allé, parce que dans les marches, je suis allé à une autre place, Puis là, bien sûr, je l'ai vu qui était 8,99. Le même compagnie, même marque, même le poids aussi. Il faut checker le poids aussi, bien sûr. Les grammes, là, le poids, bien sûr, des produits qu'on achète, parce que des fois, ça peut varier. Là, puis il faut faire le calcul, la quantité aussi. Hein, parce que si c'est double en quantité, c'est double prix, c'est pas la même chose. Ça veut dire que c'est quand même équivalent du point de vue financier mathématique. En tout cas, fait que je fais une notation de ça, là, que je suis en train de vivre juste un stress financier en ce moment. À part ça, je suis joyeux, mais je suis bonnement. Puis l'entraînement physique, je vous encourage. Bien sûr, je marche, je célèbre 5 ans depuis que j'ai survécu de moi-même, tu sais. La COVID, j'ai survécu moi-même la COVID. Fait qu'ayant survécu la COVID, bien sûr, tu sais, je prends ça, je vis au quotidien. Carpe diem, comme ça c'est mon dernier jour, puis je suis ouvert pour les affaires, mais avec cette condition de neurodivergence, ça fait que j'ai de la misère dans certaines circonstances, interactions sociales. Tu sais. On a des caractéristiques qui peuvent être quand même mal comprises, tu sais, dans un point de vue de société, parce que l'Asperger, l'autisme monofonctionnel, c'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est juste une condition de neurodivergence. Ça fait juste cette condition de neurodivergence qui fait bien sûr que qu'on est quand même neurodivergent. Donc, c'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'il faut qu'on fasse nous-mêmes. Donc, dans cette neurodivergence, il faut que je vis avec, comme je vis avec mes cicatrices, comme je vis avec le fait que j'ai survécu la COVID, comme le fait, bien sûr, que j'ai survécu la COVID. Puis, je vous rappelle de souvenir la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, parce que c'est la seule unique solution en ce moment. Puis je suis quand même fier parce qu'à cause de la malédiction de l'Asperger, j'ai quand même cette théorie, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, pour la création de l'unité d'échange universel, qui peut sauver quand même d'où qu'on est rendu avec les finances publiques, car on paye les finances publiques canadiennes. C'est rendu qu'on paye, qu'on a payé l'année passée 46,5 milliards. C'est le double de ce qu'on a payé en 2020-2021. C'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID. Mais juste l'intérêt seulement, il a doublé de 20,3 milliards à 46,5 milliards. Fait qu'est-ce qui se passe? C'est sûr qu'on ne peut pas soutenir ça. On peut pas soutenir ce niveau d'intérêt, de payer cet intérêt sur la dette publique. C'est à veille d'avoir peut-être demain, le 20 février, une catastrophe des finances publiques, un effondrement, qu'est-ce qu'on appelle en anglais un black swan event. Là. C'est possible que ça arrive à cause que, bien sûr, l'intérêt seulement, ça a plus que doublé. Fait qu'imaginez qu'un citoyen, l'intérêt, bien sûr, ça double. Si l'intérêt, bien sûr, ça double. Si l'intérêt double sur la dette qu'on paye, l'intérêt double. Si l'intérêt double, ça veut dire qu'il faut couper dans le budget, tu sais. Ça veut dire qu'il faut couper dans le budget quelque part, parce qu'on ne peut pas soutenir les dépenses. On doit dépenser moins, fait qu'on doit couper. Fait qu'est-ce qu'on va couper dans les finances publiques? Les services de sécurité, la police, la prison, mais la sanitation, ceux qui enlèvent les poubelles, les marchandises, bien imaginez-vous. Là. C'est pour ça mon rêve, c'est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé. Puis je vois qu'en avant de moi, c'est les constellations Orion. Fait que ça veut dire qu'en arrière de moi, parce qu'ils sont opposés vis-à-vis, c'est Scorpion, le Scorpion. C'est pour ça que je dis, ça prend un partenariat public-privé pour implémenter ma TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Puis bien sûr, je suis pour l'Union de l'Amérique du Nord. Je ne suis pas du 50e État, mais je suis pour quelque chose, pour un partenariat public-privé. On n'a pas besoin de la frontière, on a besoin de faire un recensement. On a besoin de faire un recensement. On a besoin de faire un recensement. Et bien sûr, faire un recensement, bien sûr. Et bien sûr, faire un partenariat public-privé pour la sécurité et la défense. C'est le service du collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, ou qu'est-ce que j'appelle le collectif nord-américain. Donc, nous, les Québécois, les Canadiens, on fait partie. Puis c'est ça mon rêve. Quand on dit prêter allégeance, les gens, vous êtes famille, ben c'est mon rêve pour un partenariat public-privé. Fondamentalement, c'est un PPP, un appel à un partenariat public-privé à travers le collectif nord-américain pour la République démocratique en étant centriste. Des fois, il faut faire des compromis. Fait on doit faire la création d'une monnaie, d'un nouveau passeport commun avec les États-Unis, puis une défense de côte à côte. D'une défense de sécurité de côte à côte. Parce que c'est par les ports, puis par les aéroports. Les ports puis les aéroports. La défense de l'investissement dans la frontière, c'est pas si pratique. C'est une dépense quand même qui n'est pas si utile que la défense de côte à côte. Les aéroports puis les ports, puis faire un recensement de tous les habitants qui s'habitent ici depuis 2017, mettons. 2017. Depuis 7 ans, puis faire un petit recensement, puis un petit voir comment ils se débrouillent avec le langage linguistique, tu sais, pour voir qui s'habite, puis un petit questionnaire, puis des choses comme ça, avec le recensement, pour voir le collectif. Quelque chose de simple, pas beaucoup de questions, mais ça prend une mobilisation, puis on va faire l'implémentation de ma TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, parce que vis-à-vis la dette publique, c'est la seule et unique solution. Donc, je vous l'explique un peu maintenant. On va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, on va faire la conversion dans la devise des États-Unis, on va ramasser avec les États-Unis, on va faire la création d'une nouvelle monnaie, puis on va faire comment ils ont fait en Europe, mais à l'Amérique du Nord. Fait qu'on va faire la création de l'unité d'échange universelle. U point unité, point échange, point universel. U point unité, point échange universel. U point unité, point échange, U point universel. La création d'une nouvelle banque centrale nord-américaine intégrée de l'Amérique du Nord, du collectif nord-américain. Puis on va mettre en marcher en marche, en circulation, une nouvelle monnaie. L'unité d'échange universelle. On ne s'ostinera pas parce qu'en anglais, ça va être pareil. Fait qu'on va faire un recensement, un passeport commun, une défense sociale commune, puis pour la renaissance, puis on va rebâtir l'infrastructure de l'Amérique du Nord, on va bâtir des tunnels, on va financer les gens à faire l'entraînement physique, financer le tourisme, on va faire bien des choses pour le bien commun avec cet argent-là, avec l'implémentation de ma théorie de la refusion de la dette qui devant elle-même